Everyone has a dream company that they want to get into. For IT guys, it could be the MAANG companies. For other guys, it depends from field to field. What happens is a lot of the time people really dream to get into that company, and a lot of times they even clear the written rounds, but they're not able to crack those interviews of their dream companies. Today, I'll be sharing those 11 mistakes that you are making in those interviews and how you can rectify them. Hi guys, I'm Atharva Maheshwari Dharwa, and I have been to a lot of interviews for a lot of companies, and I have taken a lot of interviews for my startup. So I've been on both sides. So I'll be sharing my view from both point of view. So you can listen to me. Mistake number one, you can't recite your resume properly. Trust me guys, this is one of the most common mistakes that is actually seen among a lot of the candidates. Sometimes people might have contributed a little bit into the project and they put it in the resume. In those cases, what happens is they're not really sure of if a recruiter asks something very detailed in that project. In those cases, if a recruiter finds something that you're not able to explain properly, then it's quite evident that you have lied in your resume, and even the things that you have worked on and that you are proud of will be invalidated. So you don't want to do that. Just always make sure you know your resume by heart and you can explain each and every word that you have put in your resume. Mistake number two, you have not read the job description carefully. Now, a lot of times what happens is people apply to jobs in a bulk, right? They might be applying to several jobs parallelly. They don't just apply to one company and they sit idle and wait for them to get back. In those cases, even before the interviews, the aspirants are not sure of what exactly the recruiter is looking for. And trust me, that is a terrible idea. You need to be absolutely sure of what's there in the job description, what the recruiter is looking for, and make sure you're answering your questions in a way that is relevant to the job description. The recruiter might even ask you certain things from the job description to make sure you are actually the right candidate for that job or not. So always make sure, apart from the resume, you have the job description by heart as well. And a very important tip, make sure you're not using the same resume in each and every job that you're applying for. Make sure you're using some keywords from the job description in your resume to make sure your resume is the most suitable resume among all the other candidates. Mistake number three, if you are coming right on time for the interview, most of the chances are you're not well prepared for the interview. Your mind might still not be in the zone of the interview, so it's always better to come at least 20 minutes earlier to the scheduled time for the interview. If it's an online interview, make sure you're logged in at least 10 to 15 minutes before the scheduled time so that you make sure your device is working, your mic is working, and camera, and what all things are required. Also, before actually going to a virtual interview, make sure you have gone through the prerequisites of the interview so that you know that you have everything. A lot of the times people even forget their IDs, right? So that's another common mistake. So don't do that. Mistake number four, you are underdressed for your interview. Always dress professionally for your upcoming interviews, whether it's virtual or on site. Always make sure you're overdressed rather than underdressed. Nobody wants someone in their company who wouldn't represent them in the right way. So make sure you're looking your best and make sure you have groomed properly for the interview. It shows that you have actually put in the effort to get the job. Mistake number five, you don't really know the company that you're interviewing for. A lot of the times, as I've talked about it earlier, people give in a lot of interviews. They just care about getting the job so much that they forget about which company that they're interviewing for or knowing the company in detail. You should be able to explain what the business of the company is that you are interviewing for, and not just that. Make sure you have done your research completely well. Make sure you don't not just know the history of the company, but also what the company is up to in these recent times. Make sure if there are any relevant news of the company, make sure you know them by heart. This shows that you have actually given in the right effort and this company actually matters to you. You don't just care about the money or the salary that the company is offering for, even if you do. Mistake number 6. You're not asking the right questions at the end of your interview. I now have created a separate video, and it's a very short video about the importance of asking the right questions and the kind of questions that you can ask towards the end of your interview. So whenever somebody asks, hey, we have come towards the end of your interview, do you have any questions for us? Always make sure you're asking the smart and the right questions to actually show that you actually care about the company and the recruiter and not just the role. If you want to know about the right questions that you can ask in the interview, make sure you watch my previous video. Mistake number 7. You're not quite confident in answering the questions. Always be very confident whenever you're answering any type of question. Whether you are 90% sure or 100% sure, always answer the question with confidence. Now, if you're not sure about the question at all, just say that you don't know rather than giving some wrong answer. But if you are giving an answer, make sure you are answering it confidently, even if it is a wrong answer. This brings me to my next mistake, number 8. Whatever answers that you are giving, make sure you are able to provide the right evidence for those answers. For example, if you're going for Amazon's interview, you'll be expected to know all their leadership principles by heart. And not just those principles, and you are also expected to know where you have applied those principles in your life or in your previous role. So whatever interview that you're going for, there will be certain behavioral questions that they will be asking you. So you should be able to answer all those questions with the right evidences. Mistake number 9. Make sure your phone is on complete silent. It shouldn't even be on vibrate, honestly, because it will distract you from answering your questions. So it shouldn't be something that I should be putting it in the list, but I'll have to because it's a really common mistake. If your phone actually rings or vibrates during the interview, it will actually destroy your confidence for the rest of the interview. And if it's a virtual interview, there are even more things that you'll need to take care. Make sure that the battery of your laptop is completely full. There is a power backup of the Wi-Fi or whatever mobile data or whatever you are using to connect with. And make sure your room is on complete silence. There shouldn't be any distractions or here and there. Mistake number 10. Always make sure whenever you're talking about the previous role or somebody from your past experience, you don't talk about him or her with a negativity. Always be positive in whatever experience you've had, even if those were not as pleasant as they could have been. This is one of the most important things that recruiter looks for. Nobody wants a crybaby in their company. And if you are not saying the right words about the previous recruiter, it's most likely that you will do the same in your next role as well. So never ever talk negative about someone. This brings me to the mistake number 11 and the final mistake. You're not giving positive vibes. Now, how do you give a vibe? How do you give a positive vibe? Right? There are a lot of small things that you can do to actually impress someone. The simplest that you can do is smile. You should always smile, be pleasant, and show good manners in your interview. If you can do that, trust me, half of your interview, half of your battle is already won. So always try to give out positive vibes, try to connect with the recruiter as much as possible. And if you want to know more of such interview tips, make sure you're watching my previous videos and my upcoming videos, because those are going to be awesome. Thank you so much for watching the video till the end. I really hope you enjoyed watching the video and you have learned something from this video. If yes, please like and let me know in the comments how you liked it. It would really mean a lot to me. We put in a lot of efforts to create such kind of videos, so it's good to hear some appreciation or feedback in the comment section. If you're looking for jobs, you've come to the right place. Make sure you join our Telegram channel. The link is in the description, where we post the right kind of jobs for everyone every single day.